Hello, welcome. Today's class is a gentle yoga practice that I believe is appropriate for almost everyone, even those who consider themselves a beginner. So I invite you to join me down on the mat in a comfortable seated position, resting your hands wherever it feels comfortable for you. I invite you to close your eyes, turning your attention to your breath. Begin to take some of your longest, deepest breaths of the day. As you exhale, I invite you to let go of any negativity, worries, anxieties, fears, whatever it is that is no longer serving you well in this moment. Let it go. Opening the eyes, sitting up tall. Drop your right ear over towards that right shoulder and extend the left arm out. Begin to lift the head and take that left arm across the body. Be sure you drop that shoulder down. So begin to stretch it to the shoulder. Now we're going to drop our chin down towards our chest. Lifting the head back up. Let's do that on the opposite side. So dropping left ear to shoulder. Press down through the right arm. Lifting the head, taking that right arm across. Gentle shoulder stretch. Now drop the chin down towards the chest. Begin to lift and reach your arms up over the head. Turn your gaze up towards the fingertips and then float those arms down to your sides. Extend the right arm up over your head and again, see if you can turn your gaze up, gently turning the head as we stretch through the right side of the body. Lifting up both arms over your head and then come into that side stretch on the other side. Really extend through the fingertips. Really lengthen out of the low back and through the side. Come back up to a seated position. You're going to turn and meet me in tabletop with hands under shoulders, knees under hips, beginning to flow through cow and cat. So breathe in, look up, open up your heart, your chest, and then exhale, round the spine, chin towards chest. Again, inhaling, open up, exhale, round. Continue at your own pace. This is a flow, these two poses that I do almost every day. Feels so good in your back to release any tightness. It helps keep mobility in our spine. Let's do one more of each pose. And then find a neutral spine, threading the needle, thread the right arm underneath the left. Palm is up, lower the head and the shoulder to the mat. Begin to lift and switch sides, threading the left arm underneath right. Lower to the mat. Begin to come out of your pose, and then lower your body down onto your mat, coming into Sphinx pose. Forearms to the mat, shoulders right over those elbows. Again, looking forward. Be sure here that you are relaxing your shoulders down away from your ears. So we're going to keep the low body nice and relaxed and move into seal pose, taking the hands more towards the corners, and begin to maybe straighten the arms, again, any amount, keeping the glutes relaxed, the legs relaxed. Begin to bend and lower your body back down. Hands come by the chest, press back to child's pose. Begin to widen your knees, feet connected. Begin to lift, coming into downward facing dog. So feet hip distance apart, hands shoulder distance. Tailbone is lifting. So we're trying to find a stretch throughout the entire back side of the body. It's fine if your heels don't touch, but we want to be feeling that stretch down the back of the legs as you release the heels down. Begin to look forward and bring your feet forward to your hands, deeply bending the knees, coming into ragdoll pose, cradling our elbows. Begin to sway side to side. Release any tension from your neck. Coming to center, hands to shins. Maybe straighten the legs for your half lift. And then come into forward fold. Breathe in, reach up, high mountain pose. Bringing the hands to your heart center in that prayer position. Stepping your left foot back for warrior two. So as we come into this pose, be sure that that knee is over your ankle. Tendency is for it to want to collapse in. We want to open it up, feel a nice stretch here on the inner thigh. Begin to straighten your legs, moving into triangle pose. Lengthen through that side body. Let that hand fall wherever it wants to fall. Be sure that we're not starting to reach for the floor and lean forward. We want to maintain our alignment over that forward right leg. Begin to lift up. Turn all 10 toes forward and come into a standing straddle. Reaching for your feet. Again, releasing any tension in your neck. Just allow the top of the head to reach down towards the floor. Taking the hands underneath you, begin to turn to the back of your mat. Drop your right knee down. Extend the left leg, coming into half split. Begin to come forward and step your feet together. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift, hands to shins. Then bring your hands to your waist and stand all the way up. Mountain pose. Stepping the right foot back, warrior two. And take some time here to find your pose. Check alignment, shoulders over hips. And you want your hips nice and level. Sometimes you start to see this. Just try to level it out. Straightening that leg, reach forward, lengthen through the side body, turning your gaze up to the fingertips, triangle pose. Lift up, toes turn forward, come into this standing straddle. Take a breath in, exhale into your stretch, and then take the hands right underneath you, lift up halfway. We're going to add a twist, so gently bringing the right hand to the hip. We're going to turn our gaze first, trying to keep our hips nice and level. They're going to probably want to shift, and then maybe extending the right arm up. You're always welcome to keep it down onto the hip. Bringing the hand down, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, start with the hip, hand to hip, then lead with the eyes, and then maybe extending the arm up. Hand down. We start to pivot back towards the front of the mat. Left knee drops down. Moving into our half split, so straightening that forward right leg. Start to come forward, hands to the mat, step back to downward facing dog. We're going to stay in this down dog. We're just going to do a variation. I want you to see if you can walk your feet to the edges of your mat. Toes are still forward. Press back. Lift those hips up. Then we're going to start to bring the feet forward and have a seat on the mat. We're going to move into a seated twist. So we're going to take our right leg extended out, sit up nice and tall. And you have the option here to keep that left foot on the inner thigh or cross it over to the outside of that right leg. It is up to you. I'm going to keep mine here today. Now reach up that right arm, and then you're going to turn and hook that elbow outside of the knee, or you can simply wrap it around. Turning to face forward. The same thing on that other side. So the right knee pulls in. Again, either on the inner or outer part of the thigh. It's just up to you. Sit up tall and twist. Turning to face front, let's bring the soles of the feet together, drop the knees wide, moving into butterfly pose. So when you're ready, begin to grip onto the feet or the ankles and gently come forward. Begin to lift, extend the legs out. We're going to roll down nice and slow. Scoop those abs in as you go. And then once you're down, hug your knees into your chest. Gently rock side to side. Place the right foot on the mat. Cross the left ankle above right knee. And lift, taking the hands behind the right thigh. Releasing and switching sides. Crossing right ankle over left knee. Reaching, interlacing the hands behind the left thigh. Begin to bring your feet to the edges of your mat and your arms up into a goalpost shape at your sides. Begin to drop the knees over to the right and then the left. One more time on each side. And then extending the legs out, moving your arms by your sides. Shavasana, our final resting pose. Beginning our transition with small movements back into the body. Then bringing the knees in and rolling to a resting position on your side. Then help yourself up to have a seat. Smile. You did beautifully. Let's take a deep breath in, bringing your hands to a prayer at your hearts. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope you have a blessed day.